Good morning, everyone. It's MAGA Hat Monday. Oh, I gotta give this to somebody.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feast and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
They now have ICE agents hiding in these white booths marked ICE at the front entrance of every bodega in the city. They hide in these boxes so they can pop out and ambush innocent immigrants when they approach the bodega to buy their much-needed Modelo with their SNAP cards.
Good morning. You're watching the MC Too Tall Show. I, of course, am your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host, MC Too Tall. Now we're going to talk about Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa is a frequent guest on Sid and Friends in the Morning, hosted by Sid Rosenberg, another great guy. A really great guy and a good man, that's Sid Rosenberg. Shout out to Sid Rosenberg and shout out to Curtis Sliwa for pointing out the obvious. The other mayoral candidates are out there being silly. Andrew Cuomo's running around looking for a theme song for his failing campaign. And I think Sliwa suggested a certain Who song. And let's see, Mamdani, I think, is doing some sort of Easter egg hunt. Eric Adams is doing his usual out there in the Hamptons. And they're over there trying to rake votes. Cuomo and Adams take turns going out to the Hamptons trying to rake campaign support and donations from the Hamptons to support their mayoral races. And it's not a good look to go out there. I mean, we saw what Cuomo did as governor. We saw what Adams did as mayor. Okay? They both suck. And the one guy leading the pack is even worse than the both of them put together. And so, you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. You send a pig to the fucking Hamptons, it's still a pig. Okay? I'll say that again. You put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. You send a pig to the Hamptons, it's still a pig. So, stop trying to hog up money that you're going to end up putting in your pocket anyway. I don't know what Cuomo would do with the money when he loses, but Adams, right in the pocket, right in the pocket. And you got the police commissioner, that tough woman police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, she's out there in the Hamptons, of course, because where else would a police commissioner of a crime-ridden city go? You would think she'd be on the street where these scenes of the crime are, but no, she's going to the Hamptons. Send a pig to the Hamptons, it's still a pig. And so, and that's not a pun intended because she's a police officer, none of that. Back to blue and all that. Thin blue line and all that. But She's running the department very sloppily, and so is Eric Adams. To the point where you have shootings and they only put it in the books, they only record it if someone gets hit. So naturally, when a gun goes off, aren't guns supposed to be illegal in New York City? Isn't it supposed to be very difficult to obtain a gun legally in New York City? And thus, if you see a handgun on anybody, it's more likely to be illegal than legal. Yet these kids are popping off, probably 14-year-old kids, 15-year-old kids popping off in the streets, popping off in the Bronx. And because they don't hit anyone, it doesn't go on record. I mean, I thought you're all about blue state, blue city gun control. Don't you want to know who's shooting off illegal weapons in your streets? Whether they hit somebody or not? Yeah, be grateful they didn't hit anybody, but put it down on record that this happened. Put it down on record that it went through that stop sign, that it shattered that old lady's window. You know, that it went into that little kid's school backpack and luckily didn't hit the little kid. Or wherever these bullets are going when they're discharged from these weapons. You know, and who in the name of the Illuminati puts the weapons in the hands of these kids? Not Republicans. It's got to be the Democrats. Crime runs rampant because of the Democrats. And so, these silly, silly people, we got a silly mayor and a silly police commish cooking the books. Tish Commish is cooking the books. And, you know, I'm really disappointed in this mayor and this commissioner. But here we are, dealing with city staff that cooks the books. You know, Eric Adams, he gets the presidential pardon. So what does he do? He hires back all the people that got arrested. They get arrested again. You know, you're not going to fool me twice, they say. Like the Who song goes, which is an appropriate title for Cuomo's campaign theme song. And it is a failing campaign because that man's not going to be mayor of New York. He's tainted. He's tainted as all hell. What's scary is across the Hudson. That's a scary mayoral campaign because I think the only known candidate is the failed governor of New Jersey, Jim McGreevey over there. You know, people forget what a corrupt man that guy was. But let's take it back to this side of the Hudson again because we got our own problems here. We got Kami Mamdani trying to be your next mayor. And he's trying to tempt people with city-run grocery stores paid for with money that isn't there because the money he was talking about that he was going to use to pay for it exists in the form of tax breaks for businesses that already exist. So what is he going to do? Take those tax breaks away and take away the incentive for these food businesses to stay open? Sure. What a way to kill the competition. You know? That's how communists do it. They kill the competition. They kill dissenting voices, and they kill people who ask challenging questions. That's just how they do it. I mean, look at good old Che Guevara, what he did. and all the people he killed on behalf of Fidel. But Fidel is supposed to be a nice man, and Che Guevara is supposed to be some kind of hero. That guy was no hero. He was a scumbag. And so is anybody pushing this democratic socialism, which is essentially communism. Again, you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. You paint a hammer and sickle red, white, and blue, it's still a hammer and sickle. You dumb pickle. So anyway, good news is that when Curtis Lee was mayor, pickles will not be banned on Avenue U. That's one thing. And another is that whenever a gun goes off, it's going on record. Which in a city like New York, it has to. Rules is rules, man. Rules is rules. And so, these characters, while all this crime is running rampant because of the Democrats that are all jockeying for mayor are running around being silly, frolicking to the Hamptons, begging for donor support from people in the Hamptons. I mean, what happens in the Bronx has no bearing on those rich folks up in the Hamptons. But they're rich folks, so the mayoral candidates, except for Sleeper, of course, are going out there. Please, Daddy Hamptons, give me money, Daddy Hamptons. And they're just being silly. And anybody that does not want Curtis Sleeper to be mayor of New York is just being silly. And it's going to be a costly silly. People could die with the wrong man in City Hall. Think about that before you cast your vote this November. It's time to vote Republican, folks. Republican Party is the party of morality anyway. You might as well go with the party of morality. I'm going to conclude this episode of the MC Too Tall Show. So, remember, take in as much of my wisdom as you can as I lay it on thee. Respect God, watch out for the Illuminati, follow, share, comment, subscribe, stay strong, keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building, hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero, MC Too Tall. Be good now.